The growth of the global economy has made import-export a daily practice all over the world. In the simplest delivery, the exporter notifies the importer when the goods are ready for delivery, then arranges its own transportation and delivers the goods to the importer's premise. However, as most sellers and buyers are far away from each other and transporting merchandise often involves more than one mode of transport, international transportation of goods and commodities is far more complex than two-party delivery. Therefore, it is more common for the parties to rely on freight forwarders, especially MTO, multimodal transport operators. Today, let's look into an export order under CIF Incoterm 2022 to discover how the practical procedure of international delivery is carried via MTO. Case study overview. Parties. This transaction involved 1908 Mechanical Joint Stock Company located in Hanoi, Vietnam, and Riobeauty & Sons Trading Company Limited based in Yangon, the capital of Myanmar. 1908 firm agreed to export 9,200 pieces of auto leaf spring or car component to Riobeauty & Sons Company. 1808 hires a multimodal transport operator to Pacific Container Lines (PCL) to carry out the complete shipment of goods cargo from Hanoi, Vietnam to Yangon, Myanmar. To obtain the most competitive ocean freight charge for 1908, PCL hired another forwarder, PAM Cargo, to book vessels. In Myanmar, Riobeauty & Sons Trading Company entrusted the forwarding agent, JGL Worldwide Co., Ltd. To undertake importing work. Position and capacity of parties. The seller is 1908 Mechanical Joint Stock Company, established in 1979 and headquartered at Minh Chi Village, Đông Anh District, Hanoi, Vietnam. It is a leading factory in Vietnam which specializes in leaf springs to apply advanced mechanical technology in the production process according to European standards, specifically DIN 2094-200609 of Germany. With 40 years of establishment and development, the company has built a firm position as a reputable manufacturing automotive component supplier, not only in the domestic market but also in the international one. The key product of the company, which is leaf spring, is considered to have top-tier quality compared to other competitors in the Vietnamese market and currently acquires a total market share of 80%. 1908 Mechanical Joint Stock Company is a key partner of Hyundai Motors Vietnam and also to international companies, especially those from demanding markets like Germany, Australia, France, and so on. Importer. The buyer is Riobeauty & Sons Trading Company, which was established on 20 December 2006, 12 years so far. The company specializes in importing and distributing 1908 automotive components in the Myanmar market. Because 1908 is a large-scale manufacturing enterprise with long-term reputation and experience in international trade, 1908 negotiation power was much greater than that of Riobeauty & Sons. Therefore, the two parties agreed to choose CIF Incoterm 2020 as the delivery method in this transaction. Under CIF Incoterm 2020, the exporter 1908 was responsible for obtaining carriage contracts and paying freight charges to deliver the goods from Hanoi to Yangon, port of destination in Myanmar. The MTO that 1908 authorized to handle the delivery of the export order is Pacific Container Lines, or PCL for short, founded in April 2015 by shareholders who have over 20 years experience in international shipping business. PCL is a forwarding and logistics company who provides a wide range of services, including multimodal transport, warehouse, packaging, loading and unloading, custom declaration, custom brokerage, LCL and FCL Ocean Freight Vietnam to worldwide and vice versa. Although 1908 is reputable for its excellent production and financial capacity, like many other exporters in Vietnam, the exporting firm lacks expertise in complex cross-border logistic work. Choosing MTO PCL in this case is a wise choice for 1908 because of three reasons. First, authorizing MTO to carry out the delivery guarantees effective communication. Because the manufacturing factory of 1908 is based in a landlocked location, which is Đông Anh District, Hanoi, Vietnam, the delivery of the export order requires many modes of transport. For example, check from the seller's factory to CY in Hải Phòng, check from CY to loading port, pre-carrier from loading port to tranship port in Singapore, visual from tranship port to discharging port, etc. The journey requires the exporter to deal with many carriers and carriage contracts. However, by entrusting PCL as the sole party responsible for the shipment, exporter 1908 only has to work with a single operator, and the shipment is transported under a single bill of lading. In this case, bill of lading for combined transport shipment or multi-port shipment is issued by PCL. Following a single contact gives 19.8 better overall control of transit and responds instantly to problems that may happen during the journey, such as loading and shipment delays. Secondly, sending goods to multimodal transport operators can be cost efficient, as they are experts and can select the best transport options and custom form to send the goods, thereby minimize unnecessary formalities and help to save cost. Forwarder, PAM Cargo was the forwarding company chosen by PCL to book vessels for 18.8 export shipment because PAM offers a complete range of sea freight services at competitive charges through its strong relationships with major carriers. Just like 19.8, the importer Irutu and Sons is also inexperienced with logistic work, so it hired JGL Worldwide Co. Ltd, a forwarder based in Yangon, Myanmar, to receive the cargo. Product description, function. The exported commodity in this transaction is auto-lift spring, a component made of connected steel plates that have decreased shock in automobiles during journey. Fabrication and characteristics. Auto-lift springs are produced on automatic lines in accordance with DIN 2094, 2006 standard Germany, by 19.8 Mechanical Joystock Company. Elastomeric steel with a carbon concentration of 0.5% to 0.75% is the primary raw material used to make auto-lift spring. With the elasticity and high fatigue strength, it's widely used to improve the safety in a variety of cars. Exporting regulations. According to Decree 69/2018 NDCP, auto-lift springs are not on the list of items that are prohibited from export, and the list of goods that can only be exported under certain circumstances and permits. As a result, exporter 19.8 only needs to fulfill the regular exporting regulations to be able to export the product to Myanmar. Now we will learn about the most important part in this video, which is the delivery process. The first step is booking. After the exporter 19.8 had prepared enough goods as specified in the export contract, 19.8 would directly contact the MTO PCL to conduct virtual booking for the export order. When contacting, 19.8 has to provide all information related to the booking process for PCL, including port of loading, Haiphong port in Vietnam, port of discharging, Yangon port in Myanmar, number of container, 2, container type, 20 GP container. This type of container is known as 20 footer to signify the overall length of 20 feet. A container of this size can take a maximum load of about 26,500 kilograms. Estimated time of departure, 24 January 2021. Empty pickup CY, Vina Bridge Dinh Vũ Report. PCL delivered all of these documents to forwarder PAM Cargo so that the forwarder can start booking the ship with a suitable timeline that can satisfy the demands of the customers. Vietnam's waters are limited in terms of deep water ports, and international transport ships with large tonnage cannot enter and retrieve goods. The only deep water port is Khai Me port in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. Therefore, the shipment is transported by transshipment method from the port of loading, Haiphong, to the transshipment port, Singapore, before arriving at the port of discharging, Yangon, Myanmar. Since the consignment would be exported under the transshipment method from Haiphong to Singapore and later to Yangon, Myanmar, so PAM booked 2 ships, which are Pre-Carrier Kota Nasrat 0128S 9SK, Chang Virgil, Sina Bintan 704 and TMM. After successfully booking the ship, PAM Cargo would contact the carrier 1 and MTO PCL to determine the freight cost and send a booking request to once to reserve rooms for the consignment. Carrier 1 confirmed the booking was successfully by granting booking receipt note to forward the PAM Cargo along with the packing list under the form of the carrier. Since the exporting consignment 19.8 is full of container load HCL, the booking note also allows the exporter with empty containers. Empty container pickup. The second step is empty container pickup. With a total weight of 48.575 kilograms, 9,200 units of auto-lift springs are divided into 2 full 20 GP containers in order to be delivered to the importer in Myanmar. One container accommodates 5,000 units, while the other carries the remaining 4,200 pieces. In order to receive empty containers, PCL carry booking note to empty pickup CY, Vina Bridge Dinh Vũ Report at Dinh Vũ Industrial Zone, where once kept their containers to receive 2 empty 20 GP containers. These empty containers would later be transported to 19.8, where the staff would load the goods and seal containers. Afterwards, the fully loaded containers would be delivered to full return CY Nam Hai Dinh Vũ Port before cargo cut-off 4 p.m. 21 January 2021, which is decided by 1. Next, the third step is custom procedure. PCL registered custom declaration with Sub-Department of Customs at Haiphong Port Area Number 2. PCL contacted 19.8 for the full set of documents related to the export customs, including sales contracts, commercial invoice, certificate of origin, packing list, marine cargo insurance, verified gross mass. PCL continued to declare e-custom declaration on VNACCS system. Since the consignment was allowed to the green stream, it was not required for goods inspection as well as details of the documents. Customs staff would then deliver the custom documents to Sub-Department of Customs at Haiphong Port Area Number 2 to stamp the export custom form. After being accepted into custom clearance, PCL continued to pay the tax, custom fee and then organize and check the documents before saving on the spot. NTO issued BL to exporter. Afterwards, the consignment would be delivered by PCL from full return CY Nam Hai Dinh Vu Port to port of receipt Haiphong by truck. In this case, Haiphong Port was also port of loading, where PCL load the goods onto Kota Nasrat 0128S vessel according to Incoterm CIF 2020. After leaving Haiphong Port, one carrier would issue master bill to forward their PAM cargo. Based on the master BL, PAM cargo sent house BL to MTO PCL, and based on how BL MTO PCL issue multimodal BL to exporter 19.8. Arrival notification. On the 10th February 2021, Sina Bintan 704N vessel arrived at port of discharging in Yangon. One at Yangon would send notice of arrival to importers forwarder, which is JGL Worldwide Company Limited, 1 day before the vessel's arrival. Arrival notices the importers forwarder that the shipment will arrive at Yangon port on February 10, 2022, and JGL needs to go to the port to pick up the goods. After receiving the arrival note, JGL will have to inspect all of the information about the date of arrival and goods to take initiatives when finishing import custom procedures. Since the sales contract determined the payment to be conducted through LC, after finishing payments through the bank, the importer requested the exporter to send the bills of lading through bank system, which was then forwarded to the importer's forwarder so that the forwarder could present BL and receive the DL from carrier 1 and take the goods. Custom clearance for import. Afterwards, JGL continued to declare custom with Myanmar Customs and then notify the manifest. After e-customs declaration form being transferred, the e-system would channel the declaration. The custom channeled this consignment into yellow channel, which essentially means that the exporter only needs to show the documents and do not have to go through the inspection of goods. JGL carried on to open the custom declaration form, pay the tax and show the documents for the custom inspections. The custom declaration form was accepted and then had a barcode printed on it. After the custom declaration form was liquidated, LGL carried the DO to pay the fee and had the custom inspect when unloading the consignment out of Yangon port. Deliver shipment to importer. Since the goods were delivered and received according to CY, container yard, so when Sina Bintan 704N vessel arrived at Yangon port, 2 containers of leaf springs would be unloaded out of vessels and waited for the importer's forwarder JGL to receive at CY, Myanmar Industrial Port. JGL arranged a truck to carry 2 containers to the warehouse of importer Imutu and Sons, as well as open the container for the importer and drag the empty containers back to Myanmar Industrial Port. This is also the final stage of exporting delivery and receiving